Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearthstone 4. New order. Let's continue on with Germany. Let's continue on. I know how to like make YouTube videos. I know how to make content. I'm a content master. Anyways. We're reminding them of Heinrich's bloodlust. We're trying to get Bormann to be as powerful as possible. Let us challenge Goring's competence. God dang Goring. We can bring air regiments to our side. I mean, that seems beneficial for sure. We gain 2 more additional units. The current bonus is right now at 0. And let us look for new opportunities. Military budget review. After the Second World War, the German military bore no rival. Our military spending was second to none, as was our might. We proved the world our strength by accomplishing what many considered impossible. We obtained tight control over our conquests, then expanded our empire even more by occupying the entire middle section of the Dark Continent. Since then, we have spent the better part of 2 decades crushing army after army of partisans, as well as the Russian invasion. The economic collapse of the 50s might made the burden of maintaining the here budget a titanic struggle, although many begged for funds to be funneled elsewhere. Although signed by the Weimar, it would not hear of it. Therefore, for the last 2 decades, Germany has somehow miraculously maintained its military budget, for better or for worse, without another major economic crisis. Militarists in both the Weimar administration continue to lobby to maintain current spending to this day. On the other side of the aisle, a coalition of reformers, civilian interests, industrialists, even a limited number of conservatives from the NSDAP beg us to cut the Weimar's budget for a much-needed allocation of funds elsewhere. Bringing in the position of power ourselves, combined with Hitler's ailing health, allows us to make a change in policy if we so choose. So Spear. So if we retain the budget. Well, let's see. I mean, our current support is like 40. Like, we're doing pretty well. So, I mean, getting Spear's legitimacy up a little bit is not terrible. We'll spend 0.1 billion. This will increase our GDP growth by 0.5 versus 0.25. And then you just give us... You actually just make Heinrich more popular. And you just ruin the economy. So you know what? Because Speer is all the way down here at 20, we're at 40. We're doubling his points. I'm fine getting the GDP growth. I know this maybe seems like kind of the opposite thing that you would want to do, because we want to make Bormann as popular as possible. But I still think this works, just for the economic benefits, more so than anything. What to do? Is there anything that we're actually low on right now? We actually need AA equipment. We need AA equipment. We need a couple of helicopters. I mean, basically, we need everything that's listed in here. Okay, so, let's just get all that stuff going. We need basic AA. Throw 5 factories on you. After that, we need transport helicopters. Okay, transport helicopters, basic seaplane. Are you considered a vehicle? I don't know where the transport helicopters actually are located in here. Scout, okay. Improved attack helicopter, okay. There's transport helicopters. Are you not anti-air? It says you're basic AA, but maybe you're a different thing than... Okay, prototype anti-air. Let's throw 5 of you in here. We then need close air support, tactical bombers, and strategic bombers. I can get all that stuff done. If I can figure out which one is which. That's the first point here. Tactical bombers, close air support. Basic jet, CAS. We got 5 of you guys going. We then need tactical and strategic. Well, I mean, okay, they're labeled strategic and tactical, so we can, that works out pretty well for us. Let's at least build all of our planes. We have no template for basic AA. Okay, so then just get rid of these. We don't need to worry about that too much. Aside from that, we have 20,000 rifles, so we're going to cut you down and then expand you like this. We're going to be making a lot less rifles, but we don't need that many guns. We're just going to try to build everything else and just hope that it kind of works out in our favor. Okay, we do have some better... We do have research land available. Let's go for... It is 62. And you are 70... You're like 64 tech. We got some artillery upgrades here. We can take some upgrades. I mean, we are going to be going to war somewhat soon. Again, like in about a year is when Hitler's going to bite the bullet. So We do need to kind of be prepared for that. Now, I'm not too sure how... Sure, let's give our planes more range. I'm not too sure exactly how it works in terms of our divisions and what technologies we have and all of that stuff. Presumably, we'll all kind of start off at roughly equal footing, at least in terms of, like, technology. But I'm sure some factions are going to have more troops, depending on how influential they are and all those other, you know, modifiers. I mean, we have decent political power. We're up to 150 now. Can I actually do anything with that 150? I think the answer might be no. Other than just spending it in here. Is there any other trees? No, it's really just a power struggle. I'm going to build more schools. I think schools probably are important. Build more schools in Berlin. Build schools here. Build schools here. Let's build schools here. And we'll build them over there as well. That hopefully works out in my favor. I don't really know. I'm just crossing my fingers. And I'm just believing in my soul that this is going to make things better for us. Okay, SNP's held onto Scotland. Let's bring more forces to our side as well. We do, I think, have like a lot of... Yeah, we'll just get this done. How many rifles do we have? We're going to get a bonus of 15,000 rifles. That does seem pretty good. Oh, I didn't even realize they were spending legitimacy for this. That is good to know. Okay. Each of these cost 5 points. But hey, we're going to get 15,000 rifles and 4 extra divisions. That sounds good. 15,000 rifles is, you know, that's a solid amount. That's an amount that I'm pretty happy to have, for sure. Okay, there's improved anti-tank. Let's follow you up. We have horrible. We don't even have like 1945 Marines. You know what? Sure. In case maybe the British Isles, if Her Majesty's Most Loyal Resistance ends up taking the British Isles, maybe we'll have to do some sort of intervention. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. I'm hoping that we don't, but you never quite know. Maybe the Italians are going to do something stupid, or maybe, you know, Finland's going to get invaded by the Russians. I don't know. There's a lot of but a lot of variables. Let's just put it like that. Okay, so we've got our better radar stations. Let's go for air accident chance. I'm always happy to get that done. Bad weather penalties as well, because you can never predict the weather. So it's good to prepare for that where we can. We're gonna have like so much political power. I'm gonna have no idea what to even do with it. I already don't, but yeah, look for opportunities. Veterans demand their share. Militant German soldiers are rewarded after their glorious victory in the Second World War. Our loyal troops oversaw the creation of the greatest empire the world has ever seen. It was therefore only fitting to reward them accordingly. Many veterans were given lands to settle, positions of power and influence, prestige, and more than their share of wealth. That was easy enough to handle following the days of a great victory. This set a precedent of entitlement. Yet another generation of soldiers retiring, there isn't near an amount of wealth to go around. There simply hasn't been any new conquest. Still, they expect and even demand the same compensation the heroes of the last war were gifted. Even the men haven't seen a lick of battle. The most vocal of new veterans are the last for men to see real war, the veterans of the West Russia conflict. There's no doubt that they still suffer greatly to hold back the line of red rats that threaten Moscovite, and therefore will only ask for their fair share. It's time we hand over retirement benefits once and for all, so we can finally end the debate on what the veterans are due. Well, everybody gets plus 5 points here, but I need Borman to get some more points ourselves, so... Of course, we're going to reward our loyal soldiers. Speer, get your pacifist shit out of here. Even though I know before we did lower the military budget, but don't worry about that part too much. Ignore that bit. The lobster war has ended. I mean, that sounds good. I'm glad the lobster war is over. Yeah, so we got our troops right around the general government. We got troops over in Ostland as well. Because I know a lot of these places are going to revolt. Moscow, in Ostland, the general government, for sure, all explode in the civil war. I think Ukraine does as well. I'm pretty sure every one of these eastern, including, you know, the Caucasus. Pretty sure all of them explode in the civil war, like as soon as our civil war begins. the whole of the Nazi Empire is just going to completely crumble in about 12 months, give or take. Give or take like 2 weeks. Okay, we can blackmail everybody else. We get 10 legitimacy, 250 political power. Our political ideology does get lowered a little bit, but I'm sure we'll be golden. I'm sure we're gonna be sitting pretty, and we're gonna have a great time. I'm just gonna open up my drink here. When you have to talk so much, like I know even like when it comes to the New Order, there's a lot of reading involved. It does take a toll on your voice. Like I don't think people acknowledge that enough. Naval speed, naval hit chance, yes please. Or maybe I'm just a little baby. Oh, little baby can't talk for an hour straight? Wah, wah. I mean, it's not that bad when we're only just doing a few videos before to record. But when you gotta like stream for like 5 hours, it does take a toll on your voice. Like I gotta... So you each cost 5 legitimacy. I can't really afford to lose more. Me and Goring are currently like sitting as equals, which does worry me. And presumably the AI doesn't recruit troops on their side. You have outdated equipment. Yeah, basic anti-tank. Replace it with improved anti-tank. Excellent. And a trip to the tea house. Okay, his condition's getting worse again. Another man would have admired the beautiful scenery that surrounded them. Any other man would have breathed in the fresh air with deep satisfaction while surveying the rolling green hills. Any other man would have listened inherently to the melodies of nature, from the chirping of the birds to the buzzing of the grasshoppers. Not Dr. Carl Brandt. He was watching the fury like a hawk, ready to leap forward in an instant. Despite his deteriorating condition, Hitler had gently asked Brandt if he could maintain his old ritual of strolling to the tea house on Mudklopper Hill. Julius Schaub had soon caught wind of this and, despite Brent's numerous protestations, forced him to adhere to the Führer's orders. That smug Scoffo-fan was striding alongside him, hailing deeply as he baked in the sunlight. Imagine that idiot tripping over and smashing his face upon a rock gave Brandt some modicum of relief. Hitler suddenly halted in his tracks, panting heavily. Brandt dived forward just in time to catch the old man by the shoulders as he collapsed backwards like a puppet without strings. His face was pale and covered in sweat, and his breathing was raspier than usual. Brandt gently lowered him to the ground and turned him to his side, tearing off his own jacket to place it on the Führer's head in anticipation for a seizure. As he suspected, the Hitler's body soon began to jerk uncontrollably. "You just stand there," Brandt shouted at Schwab, who was staring at the two of them in distress. "Get comfort now!" Schwab nodded and raced all the way back where they'd come from. After a few minutes, the seizure stopped. Hitler was breathing regularly, clutching at the dirt beneath his hands. His eyes were filled with tears. At the last the car arrived, Hitler Kampa leapt out of the driver's seat and thrust open the back door. Brandt slowly helped Hitler to his feet and guided him back towards the vehicle. Place Führer under 24-hour medical watch now. So our stability's going to get worse. Hitler's condition's going to get worse. He is now critically ill. But he does still have a... Actually, you know what I'm thinking? And I've never played Germany before. Hitler normally dies in 1963, in around October, about 1 year from now. And now I'm thinking, does Hitler actually die in like January and there's like 10 months of scheming before the entire thing breaks down? I fucking bet you that's what happens. Hitler's gonna die in like 2 days, maybe like 2 months, and then there's gonna be 10 months of scheming where they're trying to figure out who's actually gonna be in charge of the Reich. Nobody can agree. Boom, civil war. That is my guess. Because every time we see the German Civil War, it was from an outsider's perspective. When we played as United States, when we played as Ireland. I don't actually know if we got there. I think we got there when we played England as well, even though we didn't finish like any of those campaigns. Okay, we're blackmailing everybody. We'll ground the Luftwaffe. Be 468 political power. Genuinely, I don't know what to... Because I can't change these laws, right? Yeah, like, I can't change anything in here, so... We just have 470 political power, which I'm happy to have. Is it in foreign policy, maybe? No current involvement, okay. So I can't really... I don't know what to do with this political power. We have so much of it. Is there somewhere I can spend it and I just don't know? Tensions are kind of high. Spheres of influence. Construction, production. Don't worry about you. Do we have any spies? Where is my spy? Oh yeah, we did send him to Tokyo. That actually does make sense. Yeah, I'm guessing at some point we're gonna have a lot of things that we're gonna spend our political power on, but you know, we're just not quite there yet. Outdated equipment. Let us replace. Prototype anti-air. Please get this out of my face. There we go. Improved anti-air. Fantastic. We could maybe use more military factories. I mean, still 20,000 rifles. I mean, if we were to take factories away from the civilian sector to throw them into... I think we'll keep this as it is. I would like more production units, but I can't just magically have a great economy. Even though we have one of the better economies in the world, but it's not the perfect economy, which is what's making me a little sad. Okay, let's go. Any light aircraft upgrades? Yes, we do. We'll get those going. And I think that at least for right now, this is going to be a great time for us to end off this episode. So if you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumb down. You want to see more, subscribe? And goodbye.